Was the vandalism to Nanette Ellis's car related to her murder? And why are we talking about this again? I know I've already done another video about all the rock throwing a long time ago. We've already discussed it, but I'm doing it again because I have new information that was given to me that may be important, may not be, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So before I start, I'm going to put this disclaimer up here. I'm going to put this on every video from now on. In all my other videos, I always say that everything that we're talking about is pure speculation. A lot of stuff is not actual facts. We don't have a lot of actual facts. So a lot of it is speculation. I do mention it in other videos that it's not really to be taken as fact, but I just wanted to put this here just to be all legal-like. Please note that any statements or opinions expressed here are purely speculative and are not intended to accuse any individual or entity of wrongdoing. Unless otherwise stated as fact, the information provided reflects personal observations or hypotheses. Any conclusions drawn from this content should be viewed in this context. So just getting that out of the way, if I say, hey, this is a fact, it's an actual fact, but anything else is just us kind of speculating on what could have happened. And don't forget also to like, subscribe and share. I never ever say that in any of the videos. I don't know why, but it's really important because we really need to get it out there because we never know who these videos might end up in front of. And it might be a person who actually holds the key to blowing this whole thing wide open, but they don't even know it. But they might see one of these videos and it might trigger something and they might think, oh yeah, I know who did this, and come forward. So it is really important. So please like, subscribe and share. And also I think commenting as well really helps as well. So if you can do that too, that would be great. And just one more thing before I get started with the meat of this video is just a correction. In the last video, I said that I thought that where Nanette worked, the Free Press leader in Belgrave, I thought that the one that was in Baronia was also a Free Press, and it was just like two different offices, one in Belgrave and one in Baronia, and that's not the case. Both those offices were owned by the leader newspapers, so they were both leader newspapers, but apparently the one that Nanette worked at in Belgrave, that was the Free Press, and the other one that was in Baronia, that was actually called the Knox Sherbrooke News. And I just wanted to put that in there just to clear it up. I had two people email me and say that I had gotten that incorrect, so I just want to make sure that everything is correct. We may be doing a lot of speculating here, but we don't want to stuff up the actual facts. Okay, so on to the vandalism and specifically the throwing of the rocks. I always thought that the rock throwing was not related to Nanette's murder. I said that in the first video I did probably over a year ago now, where I first mentioned all the vandalism. I didn't think that it was related then, and I don't think it was related now. And the reason why that is the case is because I couldn't understand how you could be so specific, specifically targeting one person driving down the road and do so much damage to a specific car. I couldn't wrap my head around how anybody would be able to do that. One of the police officers that testified at the inquest said the same thing. When asked if he thought it was related, his answer was, no, completely not. Not just, no, I don't think so. He said, no, completely not. He said there were vandalism incidents before, during, and after Nanette's. He said that another person had come forward and said that it had happened to them twice. And these incidents had occurred all days of the week, including weekends, and all at different times. And that's the reason why I thought there was no connection. But it also seemed odd to me that her car was actually vandalised in her own driveway. So I was thinking, it has to either be connected or it's not connected. It has to be one of the two, right? Then I thought, maybe not. Maybe there is another option. What if her car was hit by one of these rocks that someone was throwing randomly at other cars, and her murderer has seen how it really shook her up and thought, hey, I'm going to continue this on. This is really scaring her, and this is what I'm looking for. Because obviously, when her car's in her driveway, then she is the specific target. So maybe the first events weren't specifically targeted towards Nanette, but the later ones obviously were. If this is the case, then this was very premeditated. But we were already kind of thinking that, because we're pretty much thinking of someone she knew and they were in the bedroom with her, and why the hell did they have a knife in the bedroom if they weren't planning on killing her? But something else did occur to me, that maybe something was happening here, and this is incredibly speculative, so don't take any of this as fact. But what if Greg was doing it to get his parents back together? Now, I know you're probably sitting there thinking I've totally lost it, but hear me out. After the rock went through the radiator and her car overheated, Greg's the one that said, hey, take it down to Dad's workshop. Maybe he thought that if the car kept getting damaged, she would have to keep taking the car back, and then she'd have to keep seeing Max, and maybe something would happen between them and they would get back together. Now, as an adult, this sounds ridiculous. So I'm sure you're thinking this is ridiculous and this couldn't possibly have happened. But you've got to remember, this is a 16-year-old boy. I don't think this would be out of the realm of possibility, mainly because I can't guarantee that I wouldn't have thought the same thing when I was 16 years old. I mean, they made movies about this stuff. I mean, look at the Parent Trap movies. I used to love those Parent Trap movies. Once again, this is just something that kind of popped into my mind. I'm not saying that Greg did anything, either murdering Nanette or doing any damage to her car at all, but it did just pop into my mind just randomly. And it might not be probable, but I don't think it's impossible. Seriously, kids have done stupider things to try to get their parents back together. But onto the new information that I got, and it might mean something, it might not, but let's just look at it anyway. The vandalism to Nanette's car all happened on Monbulk Road, which is now Burwood Highway, in between the intersection of Glenfern Road, which is right there, and Rutherford Road, which is right there. Is it a coincidence that Nanette's sister lives right there? The rock attacks happened right at the end of Nanette's sister's road, which is also the aunt that Greg went to live with after Nanette's murder. We're pretty sure anyway. Don't quote us on that. Like I said, this information was emailed to me by someone, and given the fact that it's a 40-year-old case, I can't verify everything that comes in. So I don't even know if it's true. I don't know why this person would be sending me this information if it wasn't. But I just like to basically point out that I can't really verify this at the moment. This is what someone else is saying, so I'm telling you guys. But is it a coincidence that she was attacked at the end of her sister's street? Do you think that Greg was vandalising the car to force Nanette to take the car in to see Max? Do you think that the car was attacked by randoms in the first place, but then was kind of just taken over as a good idea by the killer? Your thoughts. I love to hear them. Put them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, and have a great day.